Hello and welcome, it's Adam from betterproposals.io here, and we are back today with another episode of Proposal Breakdown. Now today we have Megacool. They are a voice over IP and telecommunications company, and they, I gather, would replace Skype if you're sort of a freelancer, traveling the world, running your business from anywhere. Naturally you would probably use something like Skype, and these guys replace that because they are cheaper and have better customer service. So I'm looking at their proposal today, and the first thing I want to point out is this isn't for anybody specific. So this is a template that they're sending out, which from what I gather doesn't really change much from person to person depending on who they're sending it to, which is a slight difference in how I'm usually reviewing these things. So the first thing to note here is there's no cover to review because they haven't chosen one for this particular template, so that's fine. So the first thing is their structure. So they've got an introduction, which is fantastic, and then they've got the features, they've got their quote, then they've got the prices of, per call to the different countries, testimonials, terms and conditions, and then their sign-off. So that's their structure, very, very well laid out, and it breaks everything down into really nice manageable chunks, which is fantastic. So looking at the introduction first, in reading this, it's very good, but it's quite wordy. So straight away, I'm having to work a little bit to kind of get to grips with sort of the core benefits or the core ideas. One thing they could do here is they could look at some copywriting lessons from writing landing page copy, where you're trying to sum up your entire business in one sentence. That would work quite well here. And because they're using this again and again and again and again on every single person they're sending it to, that time investment would be well worth it. So the other thing I would add to this as well is in reading it, it seems like it's mostly geared towards the idea of somebody that's running their business from anywhere, but it doesn't really go hard in on that point. So I don't know if that's 100% their target market. I don't know if that's like a small percentage of it, a decent percentage of it, or whatever, but I might be tempted to write 3 or 4 different versions of these introductions and just use the one that most fits the profile of the person they're speaking to. So it might be that somebody's switching from Skype and they like the idea that it's cheaper, but really what they want is better customer service. Great, harp on that point. That's something where you can win. Maybe their big thing is cost. Go on that as well. So looking at what somebody is most interested in your service and then telling them that again up front is really, really, really important. They've got a great picture of their team here, which again just starts to build that kind of idea that they're real people and they're going to be the people that are going to help you if you have questions. So we move on. Megacool features. So this is a really great page. They've used our feature blocks at the top of each page to sort of break up the text and add a nice little title, which is really, really good. And what they've done here, which is very, very clever, is they've almost made it websitey in a way in adding all of these different features and putting icons next to each one, which looks really, really smart. All very brand consistent. There are lots of blues and oranges, which is really, really good. So this is fantastic. I can see call divert, online access, call queuing, faxing, conference calls, call rules, redirecting, all that stuff, which is brilliant. Can't say anything else about that. Absolutely fantastic. Product quote. So what they've done here is their pricing is very, very simple. So what they've done is they've just included our quote table, and they've just put in the amount that it's going to cost them and what they're going to actually need in terms of the actual quote itself. So that's all fine and simple, very clear. Rates. Now this is really smart. They have listed out in a table the prices of the most commonly dialed countries. So Denmark, France, Germany, America, England, etc. But what they've got elsewhere is a link to a PDF which shows the price of every country that they can call. Now, obviously, my general vibe on a lot of this is don't link externally, but I think what they've done here is actually very, very clever because they're not bogging them down with too much information. If you're looking to call Nigeria, for instance, and you can't see Nigeria there, you can quite clearly click on the other prices and get to the call cost, but it's probably not the most commonly dialed country. Very, very smart. It's good where they've drawn the line between commonly dialed and the rest of the pricing. So that's really, really smart. Moving on, testimonials. Massive advocate of putting in that proof that you do what you say you're going to do. So they've got some testimonials in here. They've included logos of these companies as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, can't say enough there. Probably not a lot of need for a case study here. It's not very much. It's not like a real business solution in that sense, like where you're going in and changing massive things. It's something we can all understand. It's phones. So there's not a lot of need for an in-depth analysis of what you did for that particular company. So I think, a few testimonials here are really, really good. Next up, they've got their T's and C's, all straightforward stuff. That's very, very cool. And then lastly, they have got a page called I accept. Maybe I'd rename that to going ahead or next steps or something to that effect. The only piece of criticism I've got on this page here is they've just got the signing block, the bit where they actually type in their name and sign the proposal. What they don't have is anything actually explaining what happens next. So the only thing I really add to this is something just above here, just explaining what the next steps are. So I can see how to sign the proposal, but what happens once I do? Do I get a phone call setting me up? I mean, they have mentioned in here same day setup, but what do I need to do for that? So I don't know. That's the only thing I'd really add into this. So the two main pieces of criticism, if we are going to call it that, is the introduction. So, a couple of different variants of their intro, put a bit of time and effort into wording them really nicely, making them nice and easy to read, making them flow very, very well. And then simply just using the one that's most relevant to that particular client, and then adding in some next steps on the acceptance page. Other than that, very, very, very good. Really good use of a lot of the features on Better Proposals, which is a really, really good point, and something that I don't feel that enough people actually do. Very, very brand consistent. Can't really say enough about it, really. Very, very good proposal from an unlikely source, so to speak. So, yeah, very, very good. Not grading these things out of 10 because we're not in school anymore. But yeah, very, very good and great effort, guys. Well done. Cool. Well, look, if you want to get your proposal reviewed, all you need to do is send it through to adam@betterproposals.io and I'll get yours in the queue and review yours in a similar fashion. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you later.